You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Thursday, happy Jupiter day, and welcome to another episode of Transits Today. We're going to start by checking in with the Aquariuses who were born today. A few notable Aquariuses, the Weekend being one of them. I feel like his name alone is very Aquarius. He's like, we can't spell the weekend. That's like what it looks like. We can't spell it normally. It has to be his own way of doing it. And also, he's one person, but he goes by a name that seems like it would be a group. Anyway, very Aquarius of him. This picture, very Aquarius too. Elizabeth Olsen is also an Aquarius. A few other notable people. Kim Jong-il is an Aquarius. Ice-T. All right. Eckhart Tolle. Love that. What a high expression of Aquarius energy. Eckhart Tolle is a spiritual thought leader, if you're not familiar with his work. LeVar Burton. He's actually from Sacramento, I believe. And he's the guy from the Reading Rainbow. I'm pretty sure that's who he is. Love that. Lots of Vera Ellen. I love Vera Ellen. White Christmas. She's such a phenomenal dancer. I'm just really loving these February 16th birthdays today. And is it your day? Is it your day, Bree? Is it your birthday too? I'm pretty sure it is. Happy birthday to you. We are so happy to have you in our community, sending you so much birthday love and blessings today. I hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, I'm going to check in. Some of you are already talking about how the energy of the day is feeling for you, but I'd love to hear how this Sun-Saturn conjunction is showing up in your life today. Rose says she was on a roller coaster this morning. She was so irritable from sleep deprivation over the past week. Luckily, she was able to take a long nap. That nap saved her. Feeling better. Love it. Hey, Rachel. Good evening to you, Corby. Yeah, glad you were able to take some rest today, Rose. Yes, it is Bree's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Yes, Saturn coming in hot today with, hey, remember this problem? Thought you had it figured out. Wrong. Definitely did some screaming in a pillow today. Yeah, I am joining you all much later than I normally do because plumbing issues have dominated my day again today. And Saturn coming in with those plumbing issues, like very similar to what Rachel just said. Hey, remember this problem? Thought you had it figured out? No, it was more like, hey, remember this problem you were just ignoring and waiting and hoping it would go away? Yeah, it didn't go away. And actually, it's way worse than you thought it was. So that's how Saturn is showing up for me today. Corby says, I've been taking the day slow. You might be feeling a slowdown. Saturn likes to slow things down, to really make us take it one step at a time. It can be like excruciatingly slow when Saturn is involved. But if you lean into the slowness, it can be a nice, welcome energy. Calling in a nap. Yeah, you deserve it. It's your birthday. Giving myself lots of grace. Absolutely. Yeah, no, the plumbing is not fixed. The plumbing is not fixed at all. Not even close to it. Whole plumbing system probably needs to be redone at this point. So book some readings with me. That's all I can say about that. All right. I'm trying to not project any negativity out into the world, but today, with the Sun conjunct Saturn, I am reminded that just because we are aware of the energy doesn't mean we can bypass the energy. And that is very Saturnian, right? Really making us learn lessons the hard way. So, Rose, I have lots of errands today to prepare for the anticipated big storm. That's very Saturn as well, wanting to be prepared, making sure we're safe, making sure we're cautious. So, being overly prepared feels like a good idea under the Sun-Saturn conjunction. Let's talk about this conjunction, though, and all of the different things it could be bringing, because quite honestly, when I was writing the forecast, I'm like, there are so many different ways this Sun-Saturn conjunction can show up. As with all transits, I believe there's a shadow and a light. With Saturn, feels like a little more of a shadow, but maybe that's just my experience today. And I always try to be mindful of not projecting that onto you. However, really feeling Saturn today, really feeling Saturn. So the Sun merging, conjoining Saturn and Aquarius. When we have two planets meeting up like this, it's like their energies are blended. And the Sun is our life force. The Sun is our consciousness. Saturn is the great malefic. It makes us aware of limits, boundaries, responsibilities, obligations. So you might just be more consciously aware of responsibility, of obligation, of duty, or even of the lessons you've been learning. Saturn is like the planet of karma and likes to teach us lessons and keep teaching us those same lessons until we finally learn them. So you might be feeling that. You might be feeling consciously aware of the lessons you've been learning. Again, similar to what Rachel was saying, like, oh, you thought you learned that already? Actually, no, let me put something in your path to make sure you really got this lesson down, right? So Saturn can come up as challenges as well. And it's like the Sun is illuminating these challenges. You can there's a lot of Capricorn energy today with the moon in Capricorn. So I'm really feeling that Capricorn influence of like giving ourselves credit and being aware of the mountain we already climbed, the challenges we've already faced, the things we've already traversed, but also acknowledging that the climb isn't over either. So it's like yesterday we talked all about that dreamy conjunction between Venus and Neptune and Pisces and the creativity and the only seeing through rose-colored glasses. This is the opposite energy. This is like, nope, here's reality. This is the reality of the situation. We can no longer ignore the facts. We can no longer pretend, very Pisces energy that we were in yesterday. We can no longer pretend that it's not a problem or that it's not there. We have to face the reality of the situation with the Sun meeting up with Saturn. So that can kind of be the stickiness of this transit. It can also just feel very oppressive. Saturn can feel very oppressive. I like to say it's like a big fat no. And so you might be just feeling more conscious doubts coming up, limiting beliefs coming up, maybe even just feeling like the weight of the world is on you today with Saturn conjunct the Sun. And this is a transit that happens once a year. It's been happening in January or February the past couple years. So luckily the Sun moves quickly. It's just a few day window that we're really going to feel this. But today is a day where you might be experiencing a lot of heaviness, Yeah, definitely feeling it. It's like hitting a high point or check-in on this journey. Proud of myself and looking ahead, realizing all the work that will come. Yes. Yeah, I resonate with that. Rachel realized Lilith is right there for her too, conjunct Sun and Saturn today. So feeling this urge to stand up, fight for social injustice. Yeah, Lilith and Aquarius definitely feels like that. Standing up for the collective, for injustice. Cool, though, that you're noticing that that's there today, right? That it's showing up for you in kind of a unique way. So that's kind of where this heaviness, this weight could come in. I do feel like there are some positives to this conjunction, though, that could play out, even with Saturn, even with the negative, malefic, paternal Saturn in the mix. This transit can give us more patience. Saturn likes to slow things down, as Corby was talking about, really taking it slow so we can have a little bit more patience. And in that patience, we can gain new perspective with this conjunction playing out in Aquarius. We can kind of work through any unfinished business during this conjunction. It's kind of the energy of like putting your head down and getting to work and finishing the job with the Sun conjunct Saturn. Like, what do we need to put our attention on? What do we need to address? What do we need to finish? What responsibilities are nagging at us right now? And there can be a sense of accomplishment, like patting yourself on the back, like, okay, we finished the job. Good work. Sun conjunct Saturn. It's that like nice, okay, accomplishment, achievement. We did it. So you might also notice there's more advancement or recognition or achievement with the Sun shining a light on Saturn. It's like recognizing how far we've come, recognizing our achievements, recognizing the hard work we've already put in. Yes, we're practically looking ahead at like, okay, there's more work to be done, but just taking a moment, slowing down and being like, all right, we've gotten this far. We've achieved something. I kind of liken this energy to getting a promotion, right? It's like the Sun is conjunct Saturn. Look at all you've accomplished. Here's a promotion. But when you get a promotion or you graduate or you go on to the next level of something, you're like, wow, I did all that hard work, but also leveling up is going to require more work, usually, right? Usually a promotion comes with more work and uncharted territory and new challenges. So it's like that double-edged sword of like, good job, but also there's more hard work to come. We're just more aware of work, of responsibility, of our own maturity, of what that looks like. You know, it reminds me of being a kid, and kids always just want to grow up. When I grow up, I want to be a blank. And then you grow up and you're like, oh gosh, I want to go back to what it was like being a kid, because growing up is not fun, you know? So it feels like that too, very Saturnian, like, you're responsible, you're mature, good job, look at what you did. But also being a grown-up means you have to deal with grown-up things, and there's still more grown-up things coming. If you can't tell, I'm very much feeling the plumbing issue as I talk about this. Challenging day, not easy. Yeah, we're sending you love, Nikki. I feel that. In fact, I had a coffee meeting with some collaborators that I'm working with here in Sacramento, and we just did a little check-in at the beginning of the meeting, and several of us were like, wow, we've really been feeling the heaviness or being pulled in a lot of directions, or like there's a lot going on. Stretched thin was the word that a couple of us used. I'm like, yes, I feel that. I feel that, like all these obligations pulling me in a lot of different ways. And Aquarius energy can kind of play into that too, like community obligations coming up, you know, all the different people that you're connected to, that you're kind of obligated to show up for. There's an element of leadership as well that I'm really feeling today. Not just because the Sun is conjunct Saturn, but also because we have the moon in Capricorn. So there's very Capricorn energy, very much this leadership energy. And I really was feeling into the overall energy of the day, and that's what was coming through. Like, what does it mean to be a leader? With leadership comes responsibility, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And that can be challenging. It can feel like a weight on us, you know. It's not always pretty to lead other people, or to be the leader of your own life, to be the leader of your family. There's obligation and responsibility, and we have to do things we don't always want to do when we step into leadership roles. But a little bit could go a long way today when it comes to being a leader for yourself or for other people. And that plays into the next transit we're feeling as well. I'm going to get to that in just one moment. I want to see what you're all saying. Corby says that explains it perfectly. Like, yay, more work. Yeah, like, okay. You know, it's like you finish the to-do list and you're like, oh, there's another to-do. It's not like the work is ever over, you know? Not bad work. It's what I'm called to do. But who wanted the reminder? Yes, exactly. And you're being called to step up as a leader in a certain way, to lead other people through this new project that you're birthing into the world. But it can feel a little daunting or overwhelming, or like, oh, I have a lot to do still, you know? Yeah. Work. Rihanna. Maybe we just need to play some Rihanna. And Rihanna's a Pisces. I'm really looking forward to Pisces season at this point. If there's anything that I'm really feeling today, it's like, okay, I'm ready for Aquarius season to be over. I'm ready for Saturn to leave Aquarius. I'm ready for the Pisces energy to kick in. I was supposed to have couples counseling today, but ended up having insurance issues. So now it got postponed, just trying to lean into divine timing. Saturn is the planet of time, the ruler of time, right? So trusting that the timing, the obligation, the responsibility, the weight you're feeling is coming in divine timing and is what's supposed to be happening now. Trust me, if we had fixed this plumbing issue when we first bought the house 4 years ago, it would have been cheaper. It would have been way less of a headache. And I'm leaning into that same thing of like, okay, I just have to trust that this was the right time for this to happen and that I'll be taken care of and that it's all going to work itself out. It's just uncomfortable in the now, right? Hi, Diane. I do like Rihanna. She's not like the rest of Hollywood celebrities. She's a Pisces. Yeah, I'm ready for Pisces season. Kind of side-eyeing Saturn and Pisces. I don't know what to expect there, but all I'm hearing from others discussing it is limitations. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's just get into Pisces season. Yeah. Okay. So we've talked a lot about Saturn, and yes, Saturn will be moving into Pisces in March. Saturn's always there though. I think before we move on from Saturn, it's like regardless of what sign Saturn is in, Saturn's always out there. Saturn's always imposing limitations or forming aspects or in a part of our chart. Saturn is always there. So rather than stressing about where Saturn's going to show up and how he's going to show up and what limitations he's going to bring, just acknowledging his presence, just being like, okay, you're here to teach me something in this area of my life. Okay, today's a little bit more limiting because Saturn and the sun are together. It's not going to be like this forever. It's not going to be like this forever. If you're going through your Saturn return right now, join the club. We're getting ready to exit our Saturn return, those of us with Saturn and Aquarius, but that doesn't mean Saturn leaves our chart, and that means a whole new generation of people are about to go through their Saturn return. So yes, Diane, Saturn is always watching. Yeah, he's always there. He's always there. Okay. Another element that we're working with today is this aspect, Mercury squaring the north and south nodes. I'm not going to bring it up on the chart because for whatever reason, AstroSeek doesn't show the aspects to the north and south nodes, but it's a T-square to the north and south nodes today. Mercury in Aquarius now squaring the north node in Taurus and the south node in Scorpio because, of course, the north and south nodes are always directly opposite from one another. And this feels like uncomfortable conversations, potentially, but also new perspectives gained. Mercury is our mindset. It's the planet of communication. And in this T-square to the north and south nodes, Mercury becomes the focal point. So fated conversations are possible today. These are nicknamed the nodes of fate. But it could also feel like we're kind of in this uncomfortable middle ground between our future and our past, specifically with our mindset and how we're expressing ourselves. So we're more aware of how we think and how we speak today and the thoughts that are coming up because Mercury is at this really critical point between the north and south nodes. And Mercury is still loosely opposing Lilith too. Like Lilith kind of completes this grand cross or grand square, whatever you want to call it. So being mindful still about how we're communicating, being kind, not being overpowering in our communication. But Lilith is kind of there as the release point of this T-square to help us stand in our power in communication. But also with Mercury and Aquarius, we're very much open to other perspectives too. So it's like we're acknowledging how far we've come in our ability to communicate, but also the room for growth. It feels similar to that graduation analogy, right? In between the north and south nodes, Mercury is squaring both of them. It's kind of this uncomfortable energy. And it's like, okay, we know how we want to express ourselves. We know how we want to communicate in the future. We can see that we're not quite aligned with it, but we also know what we have to release in order to get there, right? So talking or writing might almost feel uncomfortable today, but it also feels like the conversations that are being had need to be had. So also with Mercury and Aquarius, it's an opportunity to try different kinds of communication tactics. Maybe if you normally speak in conversation, writing, or vice versa, maybe trying a different way of saying something. I think also with Mercury and Aquarius, asking yourself, am I expressing authentically? Am I being true to myself when I'm communicating? And if I'm not feeling totally true to myself, how can I align with a more authentic version of communication in the future? And what am I holding on to from the past that's limiting how I'm expressing myself? So changes of perspective, faded conversations, and also just realizations about how we are interacting and communicating with our brain with other humans. Feels like it's really all part of the energy today. And it really plays into the Sun conjunct Saturn as well. It's like, I feel like this is a day about like how we're showing up and how we're interacting with other people, and also how we are honoring ourselves and our own authenticity. Yeah, Diane, feeling this. Let go to grow. Yeah. Things may not be clear today, Nikki says. Finished up with Aquarius season, going into the new moon. Yeah, that's on Sunday. I would wait to start anything new until Pisces season on Saturday. We're heading into the dark moon. This is a great time to finish things up. And it really aligns with everything we've been talking about with the Sun conjunct Saturn. Like, what responsibilities do you need to finish up so you can dream bigger in Pisces season and be creative and be in the flow? It's like the Sun conjunct Saturn at the very end of Aquarius season is like, hey, is there anything you need to finish up over here? Are there any responsibilities you need to take care of so you can have a nice, flowy, dreamy Pisces season? Yeah, great point, Nikki. And even with Mercury squaring the North and South nodes, it could be like, hey, is there a mindset shift you need to make, or a difficult conversation you need to have? So again, you're ready to like flow under the new moon. Yeah. And back to Saturn. He's always there, ready to give a lesson. Make sure we do the work. Definitely. Yeah. This could be a good day to write things down. Ask the universe to give you signs, or even in this releasing phase of the moon, to write down anything you want to let go. You could burn it. You could give it back to the earth, or just even reflect on what you're leaving in Aquarius season and what you don't want to take with you into Pisces season, whether that's finishing something up or literally releasing something still. We're in the waning crescent phase of the moon, which is all about surrender and letting go. So is there anything coming up that feels really heavy that you're ready to let go with all of these tense transits playing out today? That could be somewhere to explore. And with the waning moon in Capricorn, again, it's like reflecting on the lessons we've been learning, looking back at the mountain we've been climbing with the moon in the sign of the mountain goat. And it feels very analytical. It feels very practical and logical. The moon is in its weakest position in Capricorn. So it's like, it's kind of like, we don't want to feel it. We just want to rationalize it, you know? Very Saturn, just a very Saturn day. It's funny that it's Jupiter day, because it really does not feel like a Jupiter day. It feels like a Saturn day, if you ask me. But I also love this waning moon in Capricorn. In this waning phase, there's a lot of reflection happening about the lessons we've been learning, about the wisdom that we've gained throughout this cycle. So reflection is really powerful today, I think, just to slow down and give yourself time to like, okay, what has come up in this cycle? What do I still need to tend to? How can I be a little more responsible with how I'm spending my time, my intentions, my energy? Yeah, Saturn's always watching like Santa's always watching. Exactly. Yeah, totally not feeling like a Jupiter day. Like, what day is it? It's supposed to be Jupiter day. Jupiter, come on, come through. Actually, well, we're going to talk about Jupiter next. Speaking of the planet of abundance, the moon squared Jupiter at noon. So noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time, the moon was squaring Jupiter. That's really the first connection we felt with the moon today. And it's interesting because it feels like a lot of contrast with the moon in Sirius Capricorn and Jupiter in fiery Aries. It's like these two planets clashing with each other and almost pushing us to have those uncomfortable conversations. Like Jupiter wants us to move and go for it. And it's like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But the moon in Capricorn is very cautious. It's like, should we go there? Should we have that conversation? Do we really want to dive back into that messy little lesson that we've been learning, you know? So the moon squaring Jupiter might have felt a little bit like a push, you know, like kind of pushing us out of our comfort zone. Like, just do the thing that's lighting that fire in you, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels like, oh, is this really safe to go there? And the moon squaring Jupiter anytime can lead us to excess. So I could see this being like overly ambitious when Jupiter is in Aries and the moon is in Capricorn. Like, yeah, we can make it to that next ledge on the mountain today. And it's like, ugh, Did we bite off more than we can chew? I think the most positive expression of the moon squaring Jupiter today is like sharing the wisdom we've learned as we reflect. Sharing. Jupiter is all about sharing, like putting it out there. That seems very productive, but going overboard could have been a side effect, or just being a little overly ambitious today of all the things that you thought you could accomplish or you still think you can accomplish. I definitely relate to that. What is going on? Yeah, we're having car problems today too. It feels like Uranus must be helping Saturn or something. Well, also Mercury squaring the north and south nodes. Mercury rules short-term communication, or short-term travel, I mean. So cars feel very Mercury. And yeah, squaring the north and south nodes, it's like faded little moments popping up, you know, plumbing issues, car issues, somebody else, scheduling issues, insurance issues. Yeah. Definitely going to think and journal more into that. Love it. I love that. So yeah, the moon squaring Jupiter could have given us like this burst of like, we need to do something, and being a little overly ambitious about everything that we thought we could accomplish today. Now we're coming into the last two transits of the day. Look, I literally went on a cleaning spree this afternoon to make myself feel better. Yeah, that feels like Jupiter. That definitely feels like Jupiter. I did that as well. You know, the plumber, he didn't have to come inside, but it was like, the toilet needs to be cleaned. And this is giving me a false sense of control right now to just like clean the toilet really quick in case he comes inside. And I was like, I feel better about that. Anyway, it's the Virgo. Angry cleaning. Yeah. Anxious cleaning, angry cleaning, irritation with my husband. The moon in Capricorn squaring Jupiter in Aries, that could definitely come up as a little irritation, like a lot of energy coming up and not really knowing where to go. Yeah. Okay, so also bringing up irritation, 7 p.m. Pacific time, so late tonight for our East Coasters, the moon is squaring Chiron. And we're kind of coming into feeling this right now. In fact, I'll finally pull up the chart for you all, and you can see the moon is at 27 degrees. Oh, this is not correct. The moon is not at 27 degrees. Here we are. The moon is at 11 degrees. In the next couple hours, it will be squaring Chiron at 13 degrees. So there it is. There's that square popping up for us. The moon squaring Chiron can just bring up triggers. It can bring up irritations, especially with the moon in Capricorn. It's just, we're more likely to experience negative emotions with the moon in Capricorn. I don't know how else to say it. You know, Saturn coming in and like, let's just be real. Okay. So yeah, irritation, triggers, lots of squares playing out today with Mercury, that communication squaring the north and south nodes. It's like faded, but it might feel irritable, right? So if you're feeling irritation continue to build leading into the evening, that is to be expected. If wounding, if pain, if irritation arises, use the waning moon to release it. Like what? Usually if there's an irritation, there's some sort of grasp there, right? Like if we're not connected or attached to something, it doesn't bother us. You know, if someone we don't know is doing something that annoys us, we don't know them. We don't know about it. It's like, okay, you do you. But when we have an attachment to something or someone and they're doing something we don't like, or they're doing something that irritates us, it's like, you are attached to me and now I have to deal with this energy, right? So the moon in Capricorn is actually a great energy to like let go of attachment. Like, I'm gonna detach and take some space over here. I'm gonna do my own thing and isolate a little bit and process whatever's coming up on my own. Healing is possible with the moon squaring Chiron if we're willing to acknowledge those wounds, those triggers that are coming up, and treat ourselves as a parent would. Capricorn, the sign of the father. Like, how can you father yourself? How can you parent yourself? Give yourself a little pep talk. You know, like a nice dad pep talk, like it's gonna be okay, we got this. You know, I don't know why I'm trying to like be a dad right now, but you know what I mean. Just like, all right, let's be real about the situation. What's going on here? Why are you getting triggered? Maybe kind of rationalize it with yourself a little bit. Take some space, do some processing. There could be a lot of healing that comes from that. Gotta keep to myself, rage on the page if something pops up. Beautiful. And with Mercury squaring the north and south nodes, it's like whatever comes out through writing, I would say writing is probably more productive than speaking because, speaking implies we're raging to someone. But whatever comes out might bring these like aha moments or faded realizations, right? So noticing, do we have a healthy outlet to express any irritation that's coming up? And by rationalizing it through our words or whatever that looks like for you, you might have an aha moment. Yeah, heal from the triggers. I like that this is coming up today because we can just heal from whatever comes up. We always have the choice to be like, okay, what is this showing me? Even situations that are out of our control, like, I'm just going to keep using the plumbing situation because that is what is alive for me right now is the plumbing. So it's like, is there an opportunity here with our pipes falling apart? Doesn't feel like there's an opportunity. It feels very Saturn. But I will say, since this all started coming up last week, my partner and I have had really good conversations about like, it's almost spurred this new inspiration with our business and like, what can we do to make money? And kind of gotten a new creative flow going between us. Like, how can we think differently about this? And how can we leverage our time and energy more wisely so we don't end up in this situation? So we're not like stressed, right? So there's always an opportunity, even if it's disguised as a pain in the ass, right? So yeah. Yeah. And even just if it's a negative emotion, like, what are you showing me? There's an opportunity here to assess, like, where is this coming from? Right. And we'll move on to the last transit of the day. The moon is coming into a trine with Uranus at 10 p.m. Pacific time. So overnight. And I love that this conversation is leading us to this point because this trine to Uranus is like that shift in energy, that insight, that realization that can come through after all of the ickiness that we've gone through all day and these like responsibilities and limitations and maybe some difficult emotions coming up or just oppressive energy coming in. It's like the moon harmonizing with Uranus is freeing us. It's like, okay, we're ready for the shift in energy. We're ready to think differently about it. So thank you, Uranus. Today, you are working with us, my friend. There it is. There's that trine. So yeah, this will be late tonight, and it could just feel like that breakthrough that comes in after a little bit of breakdown energy throughout the day. Changes can unfold really naturally. You might even feel excited or like you're anticipating what's coming next. It kind of playing back into that example of like a graduation. Like it's like I feel like there's such a wave of emotions anytime you're having a promotion or a graduation. It's like excitement, but sadness, but fear, but worry, but like all these things. Uranus late tonight is like, okay, we don't know what's coming next, but we know it's an opportunity, and we might even experience some sort of like thrill or surprise or a change that gets the juices flowing a little bit again. It's a nice earthy trine between the moon and Uranus, so it shouldn't be too disruptive. I don't think it should just be kind of like this nice, like, okay, shifting gears. All right, grounding back in and aligning with the future again. I knew Uranus was playing a part today. Yeah, definitely changes. Definitely lots of changes happening. I love that we are this safe with one another. Yes, Corby. Even when the day isn't going the way we planned, we're able to express ourselves and be vulnerable and support one another. Yes, that is what we're here to do. Because holding all this stuff inside all the time, that's what causes illness, disease, right? Like, it's so important to get it out, whether it's through journaling, raging on the page, talking to a trusted friend, popping it in the chat. Acknowledging what we're feeling is the first step to releasing it and healing it and moving on from it and evolving as humans. So yes, I love that we have this safe space as well. Marissa's here. Never late, perfectly on time. Yeah, maybe it will impact your dreams. It'll be overnight. So maybe you'll have some exciting dreams, maybe disruptive, maybe thrilling. A transit playing out while you sleep, you could have like a very powerful, innovative idea come through, especially with your vivid dreams. Yes, always perfect timing. I quit one job and started another tomorrow. And it's my best friend's birthday today. Yes. Are you Bree's best friend? Is that this Marissa? I love this. perfect. We were talking about the sun conjunct Saturn like a graduation, and closing one chapter, opening another. There's responsibility, there's obligation. It might feel a little heavy, a little overwhelming, but also there's a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement. Yeah. Lots of changes. Yes. Yay. And she's an Aquarius too. She just had her birthday too. On, when was that? February 4th? Was it the 4th? I think it was. Those are the transits. A little bit of heaviness, a lot of opportunity for growth, and a lot of just being real. Today's a day. We just got to keep it real. Not the easiest day, but we got this. We got this. Yes, the day of Goddess Night Out. We celebrated her at Goddess Night Out. That was so fun. All right, let's come back to our affirmation of the day, which I need to update. But I was really, it's funny starting the day. I was looking at this Sun-Saturn conjunction a little bit more through those rose-colored glasses from yesterday, and I was like, how can I make this positive? There's always positive potential, right? But leadership really feels like the most positive way to lean into all of the energy we've talked about, sparking the uncomfortable conversations, being the leader of our own lives. I am the leader of my own life. I am the captain of my own ship. Yeah, that means sometimes we're sailing through rough waters and we're the captain. We got to keep the boat afloat, right? I'm the leader of my own life. I'm the leader of my own tribe. I am the leader of my family, whatever that looks like for you. How can you show up as a leader, and even just a leader for yourself, giving yourself that reassurance in the face of challenges, in the face of doubt, like, the leader of all your own inner parts, leader of your inner child and your inner critic and your inner optimist, like, okay, all of us together, we got this, right? I am the leader of my own life. Lots to do today, so I'm going to have a scoop of gelato before I run some errands. There you go. Love that for you. I'm sure you've tried this, Rose. I think we've talked about it before too, but there's an ice cream in Hawaii called, is it hapia? And it's coconut ice cream. That just made me have a huge craving for that. And you can't get it anywhere on the mainland, I don't think. I'm so jealous. If I was there right now, I would go buy some hapia. Ice cream makes everything better, right? Yeah, Rose always reminds us to indulge in sweets. There's some brownies in the future. Absolutely. I want ice cream now. Yeah, treat yourself. How can you be the leader of your own life, but also give yourself a little treat? Like, did we have a hard day? It's okay to indulge a little bit at the end of a hard day. We made it through, right? It's like a good leader is also going to reward their followers. I think, if you have a teacher and everybody does really good on a test, it's like, okay, we get something good from that, usually some sort of celebration. So if you feel like you've traversed a challenge today, treat yourself, as Rose says. Yeah. I feel like with Lilith right there, I'm already tapping into my power, knowing my truth, staying authentic. Yes, you are the leader of your own life. I am the leader of my own life. Okay, we're going to finish up with a card pull from The Universe Has Your Back. It just felt like a day where we need a clear, simple message. Get straight to the point. Be real, We don't need a flowery message. We need one simple truth to stick to today. So I'll shuffle these up, see what card wants to come through. This is your opportunity to share any final insights, ask any final questions. Yes, exactly. We deserve a sweet after this graduation or promotion. Yeah, most graduations you go out to dinner after or have a nice lunch or, people give you money. We've overcome a lot. Okay, we're coming into the end of Aquarius season. We're coming into the end of Saturn in Aquarius. Today's a day where we're really feeling, okay, Saturn in Aquarius. I think this might be the last time we experience a conjunction with the Sun and Saturn in Aquarius for a while. Maybe until 2040 or 2050. Should I look it up? I think I'm going to look it up because we need to know. Okay, let me see. The Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius between, we'll say, 2020 and 2030. Yes, this is the last time that we will experience this until in Aquarius. We experience the Sun conjunct Saturn about once a year. But the next time we will experience a Sun-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius will be 2051. So definitely feels like a day where we're saying farewell to Saturn in Aquarius. We're really acknowledging maybe not just the lessons we've been learning this cycle, but the lessons Saturn has been teaching us the whole time that he's been in Aquarius. Today is that day. Like if you are someone with Saturn in Aquarius, hello, illumination of all the challenges you've overcome during your Saturn return. Laura, thank you so much for saying hi. I love that you said hi. Yes, and end of transit tracking, but also just the end of one chapter and the beginning of another one for so many of us, right? Hi, Elena. I love how many are popping in right before the card pull. Yeah. Okay, well, a card came out while I was shuffling on its own, and it's so perfect, as always. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. Saturn can bring up a lot of fear. Saturn brings up those limits. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. On a day where we have so much Aquarian energy, we have Mercury squaring the north and south nodes, there is that potential for new perspectives. And those perspectives can come through review, can come through acknowledging the hardships and the lessons we've been learning, right? Such a beautiful, perfect card for today. And just that reminder that everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's all happening to help us evolve. And expanding our perceptions with Mercury and Aquarius helps us see what is of the highest good. And it's a reminder, too, that Saturn isn't bad. Yeah, he can be challenging to work with. He can feel heavy, but ultimately Saturn energy wants us to evolve. It wants us to learn the lessons. It wants us to be able to grow responsibly, if you will, you know. If Saturn was a person, I really think he would have good intentions. He would just kind of go about things in a way that's difficult for us to take in, you know, or maybe kind of harsh. So ultimately, whatever's been coming up is for our highest good, even if it's difficult to understand in the moment. Yeah, Elena just went through her Saturn return too. Today, just like, thank you, Saturn, for all of your lessons. Thank you for helping me learn to see beyond the limits of fear, for changing my perspective with Saturn and Aquarius, helping me see my path of highest good. That goes for all of us, not just those of us who are finishing up our Saturn return. Trust divine timing. It will all work out, and I am not giving up hope. Beautiful. Everything is working out for my highest good, even when I can't understand what that looks like right now. Yes, my mom always tells me if it's meant for you, it'll happen. Yes, yes, yes. Finishing my Saturn in Aquarius. My health got better in this transit. Definitely feeling Saturn in Aquarius. This transit was very difficult. Glad Pisces season starting in a few weeks. Yeah. Yeah, and Saturn will be moving into Pisces and hopefully lighten that Saturn influence a little bit. Saturn is, you know, pretty much at home in Aquarius. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. So he has been packing a punch in this sign. Saturn in Pisces hopefully will feel a little bit more compassionate. Fingers crossed. That might be wishful thinking. Laura, I have survived 2 Saturn returns. Round of applause for Laura. I mean, you did it. It's that graduation ceremony for you. Today, the sun illuminating Saturn. Like, look at all you've overcome. Badass. Yes. All right. One more time. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. And I'll add on to that, so I can step into my role as a natural born leader of my life. I am the leader of my life. You are so welcome, Laura. It is an accomplishment to get through a Saturn return, let alone 2 Saturn returns. Yeah. Sending so much love to you all. I'm grateful for this time with you today and every day. I always feel better. This isn't just something I do for you. Selfishly, I love coming on here and processing the transits with you. So I am forever grateful for you holding this space for me and coming here and contributing to this community and sharing your perspectives and leading me to my own breakthroughs and aha moments, because truly this is a co-creation and it wouldn't be possible without each and every one of you. If you're new here or you're someone who's kind of breaking out of your shell and starting to comment more, we're so excited to have you here. If you haven't already done so, please like the video, subscribe to the channel so we can keep seeing your beautiful name pop up in the chat and keep sharing with you in this community. And for those of you who are my ride or dies, Rachel, Corby, Rose, just freaking love you all. Really excited for our last call of transit tracking on Sunday. And I am leaning into this energy, finishing some things up for you. Saturn is like, okay, these responsibilities, Olivia. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of the day today. But I'm loving you all the time, and I'm excited. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Pisces season. We're going to do an intro to Pisces season tomorrow, so you know it's going to be a vibe. You know it's going to be lighter. You know it's going to be more fun because it's Pisces energy. Love that for us. So we'll be talking about what's to come in Pisces season. We will be talking about the new moon that's coming up in Pisces and just really tapping into that Pisces energy so we're ready for it when Pisces season officially starts on Saturday. Yes, whoop, whoop. Ready for Pisces. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Happy end to Aquarius season. Happy end of Saturn and Aquarius. It's coming to a close. We're almost there. We're doing it. We did it. I'll see you all tomorrow, but until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.